The reality in the OnlyFans space is that most models are posting content they simply do not want to be posting, and there is no longevity in that. They are following trends that are random and sent by the agency and told to copy and are not niched down. This is where you're going wrong. The models making multi-six figures and six figures plus are the ones that have honed this in. They've stopped caring about trends and more focused on actual branding. Now, this shift in the OnlyFans scene, I'm sure you and many others have seen it, where models with brands, personality, and connection with their audience, they're thriving. They're getting more subs than ever, and the views don't really matter to them. As views, yes, they're good to get, but in this industry, they are a vanity metric, and in most industries, they are also. Now, this is simply due to the fact if your audience is not converting, then you might as well not have the views in the first place. Now, a bit of context, my name is James, OFMCEO on social media. I run a multi, almost closing on seven-figure per month agency in the OnlyFans space. I've been in the space for 3+ years now, and I'm going to be taking you through how to actually build a brand and what not to focus on, as in this industry is very confusing. And I'm going to be explaining to why you should be focused on creating a brand instead of focusing on following trends. Now, this might be confusing for a lot of you. You know, most models sub six figures will be a bit confused watching this video. They'll be like, why shouldn't I follow trends? Yes, trends are good, but the real work is done when you are building your personality onto a page and building a long-lasting brand where you're able to connect with your subs in a parasocial way. Now, these parasocial relationships is what strive you in the OnlyFans space, because you are able to get this connection, retain subs, and get the subs that actually want to spend on you because they have this parasocial relationship with you, so they are connected. Therefore, they feel this obligation to spend more with you because they have no interest in any other model. It's the same in normal relationships. If someone has a massive connection with them, they will do everything in their power to retain that relationship with the person that they like. And that is the same for fans. If they see you in the space, you're not looking like every other model. That is the key here. You have your own personal brand, and it is unique to you. The issue comes when models are focusing more on getting views and virality instead of actually creating content that makes subs convert into paying subscribers and also go from, viewer all the way to sub and spend. Now, I know you're thinking, I'm not a creator, but I'm the person behind the back end of the business where I have seen time and time again what it takes to get creators from that 5-figure mark towards the 6-figure mark. And if you're in that $5,000 per month bracket, $10,000 per month bracket, etc., you want to be scaling more because you understand there is so much more to be made in the space. I have seen time and time again where things have gone wrong, and I've seen the space change, and I've finally decided to make a video on it simply due to the fact that the old agencies, they're focusing on getting these views in where they're not focused on building an actual brand for the model. Yes, this is harder to do, but I promise you, this is the key to scaling your page with organic Instagram audience. Now, I call this the corn star trap. Obviously, I don't want to say those explicit words online, but this is where models are simply devaluing themselves on Instagram. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a model have a clean brand if they do OnlyFans? Well, that's exactly where you're going wrong. If it's too obvious that you're doing OnlyFans, if you're posting this sexual thirst trap content on your page, yes, it gets views, but I guarantee it's not converting as well as it should be. Where your page is simply built on getting cheap views in and posting explicit content to get fast, cheap views in, where spenders don't really subscribe, and the views you're getting to the money you're making per month doesn't quite correlate. Now, why is this wrong? Because you simply become a commodity in the space. There are hundreds of thousands of creators doing the exact same thing as you. Now, if you're a fan, you see the exact same thing every day. Of course, you're just gonna like it, scroll, whatever. You give them the view, you give them the like. That's cool, but they're not actually following through to your page because you didn't gauge any real interest. Yes, okay, you might have spiked some dopamine for them. You might have made them slightly interested in a second where they might join your page and ask for the most explicit content straight away. And this would simply stop a spender spending. Whereas if you actually engage them and intrigue them, they're going to join the page to actually build a connection with you. And this is where you can really rinse fans for the most. And this is simply because the fans, they're not specific to you anymore. They are probably subbed to hundreds of other creators where they're just going to spend on them if you do stuff for cheaper. And as I've spoke time and time again, the space is changing. It's adjusting. It's becoming less of an explicit thing and becoming more mainstream. Fans are joining for a connection because they understand that they can get them cheap videos anywhere else. You're simply in a rat race that you can't win. because there is too much volume and too many people doing the same thing. And it's important to escape this race as quick as possible so that you can start your new race, which is brand, and you're not racing against anyone in this space, so you're simply in your own lane. Now, hopefully this gives you a bit of perspective to why this is much better. Now, a final point is a lot of creators will probably feel this and get a good connection to what I'm about to say. You probably feel burnt out. You might not enjoy the content that you're making. When you don't enjoy the content that you make, you burn out. It's as simple as that. If you're not enjoying it, if you're not truly putting your energy into it in something that you enjoy, you burn out. And what happens when you burn out? You stop making content. And what happens when you stop making content? You stop getting views, etc. It goes down the line, and then eventually your OnlyFans earnings tank because you don't want to make this content anymore. You feel burnt out, you feel lethargic, and you're not sure why. Well, the reason is because you just don't enjoy making the content. Whereas me, for example, I enjoy making these YouTube videos. I enjoy teaching you creators and agencies value to help you succeed in this space, truly, because this space is amazing and it can help you reach monetary freedom relatively easily if you are truly focused. Now, don't worry, you are not the issue. The issue is your content and your positioning on social media. Now, what is a brand and how do we build it? I'm not saying a brand like Nike, where you have a logo, where you look ultra professional. That's not what I mean, and that is not branding. Branding is when a customer sees your reel, likes it because of your personality, comments because of your personality, continues to follow and watch because now they're hooked. They have this parasocial relationship already installed in them without even talking to you. Now, one issue that we've had with many models in Covalent, and this is the truth, many models don't want to put personality into their reels. Yes, it is hard and it isn't easy. What you need to do is try to be one with yourself. Understand that all you're doing is posting your personality. You're posting your real self, your real vibe, and being fully genuine. Authenticity and genuinity is what is going to hurl you forward in this space, because you no longer have to focus on, I need to get 1 million views to make some money on OnlyFans. I need to make 10 million views to get money on OnlyFans. That isn't the case anymore. You can make content you enjoy, not worry about the vanity metrics such as views, likes, etc. You just focus on growing your OnlyFans, making content you enjoy, and you can kind of see that, how it is a spiral cycle. You enjoy it more, you put more energy into it, you make better content, you get better, more qualified leads coming to your OnlyFans. It's the same in every business model, right? When people are selling coaches, when they're selling courses, they have this brand. Like, for example, Alex Hormozi has this brand and he is very rich and his audience converts super well. Now, for example, if you were to get access to a one-on-one message or chat with, if you're in the business space, Alex Hormozi, you would feel special, because they have this branding and they have this personality which you have already connected with. It's the same with, for example, when you go to buy a bag at Louis Vuitton. I use these phrases time and time again, Louis Vuitton, H&M, etc. When you buy a bag at Louis Vuitton, you gain access to be able to buy that when you have money, and it attracts those, customers with money, and it feels exclusive, it feels good, so people spend more with them. They don't need as many views, they don't need as many customers as all these other stores, because that simply is just a rat race of pricing, views, and selling yourself for cheap. Now what we're doing, we're going into our own lane, we're focusing on building this structure, this brand, mainly for longevity as well as growing your page as much as possible. Because you're going to see more and more. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. Posting this lucrative content online where, you're shaking your tits, you're shaking your ass, whatever, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better from here because people have already seen it all and they simply just don't care anymore. So this is why you need to build the brand. And I'm going to say it time and time again, the brand is the key to scaling. So what does a creator with a brand actually look like? Now, ignore the hairline. It's getting absolutely messed up by the wind. Just forget about that. Please focus on the value and the context that I am giving here, because that is what is important. Pillar 1, personality-led content. Most of your public content on social media is more based around your actual personality rather than how you look in this dress, how big your bum cheeks are, how well you can shake it, how well you can do this TikTok dance. It's actually focused on your lifestyle, what you enjoy to do, your personality. Now, just a quick example is talking reels, where you're simply just talking about some experience in your life. This is going to connect with people on a parasocial level and build that pillar 1 stage where you can gain the parasocial relationship with them. because they are directly engaging with you with this personality-led content. Number 2 is niche and aesthetic identity. Now, what simply are you? What is your personality? You're not just, this hot girl on the internet. You are a person, right? Are you this, lovey-dovey girl? Are you this funny girl? Are you this dark aesthetic girl? Are you a gym girl? Are you a gamer girl? You get the idea. You're finding your niche and building your personality on top of that to build layers to the brand, because you can't just have one layer of being personality-based content. You have to have a niche with that, and you have to evolve your niche into the brand fully. The better you niche it down, the better it's going to be, the more loyal your subs are going to be, the better they're going to remember you if they, for example, keep scrolling. Because if they remember you and they see your face a few times and they're interested, they're obviously going to follow and then follow through and convert to your OnlyFans if they are super interested. Now, pillar number 3, and this is conversions and not just creating content, it's creating content that actually converts subs. You have the branding on the social media behind you. You have to follow it through on your OnlyFans page. Now, this is where they join and they don't feel like they're talking to a Filipino who's replying on behalf of the model. This is where you actually have a chat team that can replicate your model one-to-one, so nobody ever questions if it's the model. Because the second they question it, the second your leverage is gone as a sales team. And the sales team should never have that thing questioned. And worst comes to worst, if you've not done anything wrong, you need to have the backing for it. You need to have voice notes. You need to be able to do these things that persuade people into that you're the actual model, so they can really live the fantasy and fulfill the fantasy of this parasocial relationship being OnlyFans. It's important to understand what your subscribers are after when they're joining your page. When you have a branding like this and very personal branding, they're not joining for some cheap, corn to jerk off to quickly. They're joining for your personality and to actually build a parasocial relationship with you. Now, when you are doing this, more lucrative content on social media, fans are joining for that cheap burst of dopamine and to leave and never see you again. And you wonder why your subscriptions and subs are constantly dropping and going up. This is because you're not focusing on consistency, you're focusing simply on the algorithm throwing you in a section where you can finally get subs and high views. Whereas you don't have to rely on the algorithm and you have a brand where it doesn't mean you have to get millions of views, that is where you're really going to thrive in the space and have real longevity. Because if you think about this space, it's not gone easier, it's gone harder. It's gotten less lucrative and more into the parasocial relationship space. And it's going to keep going more and more and more as AI comes in, as more and more creators join OnlyFans and follow what the top creators are doing, like Sophie, doing these viral trend TikToks, whereas you're just in a rat and volume race at that point, and most of the time you're not going to succeed. Yes, you might succeed and you might make a few $1,000s, but if you really want to utilize this amazing platform to make the most amount of money as possible, that is why you have to have everything in set. This is why you need a good agency with good systems. Now, this is a little bit of a sell for my agency, FYI. Now, if you're a model and you are watching this, does your agency provide you with personal branded content plans for you, or have they tried to push you in this direction? If they have not, I would ask questions. Do they have a team where it's not just cheap labor? You can look at the chats and think, wow, how have the chatters done that? Because we get it time and time again, where models join us, they get absolutely mind blown by what they're given with the branding, with the chatting, with everything, how we're able to extract so much money from fans. This is the same for agencies. If you're looking for a serious chat team to actually scale your creators and your own agency to the next point, then also drop me a message, because we have a UK US based chat team which are unlike no other and will be any other chatting agency or agency in the space, because we have built this unique system which really propels you in the right direction and to basically catch on the wave which is coming into OnlyFans, which is changing the whole thing, where you're not selling stuff for $20, you're not selling news for $50 anymore. You're really milking fans and you're really making them work for it, where you're flipping the script on them. Now, I'm not going to ramble too much. I have a lot of YouTube videos about this. If you come, I'll pop one here now if you want to follow and learn more about the chatting, but I digress. Let's get back onto what we were on about. Now. Relax, guys. I know what you're thinking. So, you're telling me, James, I can't post sexy content on the internet? I'm an OnlyFans model. What the hell? Well, no, you can't, but you can't build your whole social media presence around it. Now, getting views is good. Of course, getting views is amazing. It is relatively a vanity metric nowadays, but if you can incorporate these views into when people see this, more sexual content, they go to your page and then they can start building a connection with your past reels, with your stories, with everything on your page, because they'll click on your page, they'll follow through, and they'll realize you're not like the rest. And that is what every fan wants on, the OnlyFans platform. They want a model that feels special to them and unique to them. Now, if you think about it, on, the OnlyFans space, 80 to 90% is just sexual thirst traps posted everywhere for everyone to see. No context, no personality, no story, just literally trying to get attention and views. Now, you're giving reason for people to subscribe, obviously, because you're an attractive model, but you're not giving them a reason to subscribe to you personally and stick around for you personally. They're subscribing for some quick dopamine, like I have said before. Now, what is the best way to use sexy content now that you have this brand? Now, you can use it to amplify what already exists. You already have this nice personal brand where you have this connection with your audience. Now, maybe if you get a little bit sexy with it and try to get for views, that could really make your content blow up even more. Now, I'm not saying spam your feed with this, but if you do one every now and then, your audience is going to be like, whoa, this is crazy. She just posted this. Whereas if another model posts a thirst trap, they're not going to care. But if you make it seem rare, distinct and unique to you, you do it in your own personal way. One model that does this amazingly in the space is Olivia Cooks. If you have a look at her content, she was one of the first actually to build an actual brand in the space, where it was not about the looks, it was about the feeling of the video, where you're making a video, she got some soft jazz on, she's talking over it, she's being a little bit sexual, a bit hinty, and nothing crazy. And this made her blow up very, very quickly and make a whole lot of money. Why this has longevity over posting sexy content 24/7. Now, let me explain this to you to why longevity matters. With the brand, you're not focused on, how many subs can I get in this month, right? Because a brand compounds. It starts slowly and starts to slowly compound until it's really going crazy. Now, explicit content does have a shelf life. You get boring, people start scrolling past. Have you seen every model? Sofa Rain's views are dropping. Every model that was using this kind of lucrative content, views started dropping because they are a view-based model. Their earnings would start to drop also. The simple fact is trends change, algorithms change, but your personality doesn't and your niche doesn't. So you're in your own lane. You're not focusing on what's the best algorithm thing. Of course, integrating this into your content is great, but having your own brand where you don't have to, fully focus on this lane, you're in this lane where you have your own brand and you're not focused on what the next algorithm update is, etc. You're just focused on compounding and building this personal brand to convert subs to OnlyFans. Now, the more you show your personality, the more the content you create builds, and the more your account builds, the more your community builds, and it slowly compounds over time because more and more people will start engaging. You might get 1 or 2, then 2 or 4. But the caveat is with the branding is that these people stick around. They, you might look at some followers with 1 million followers and they're getting 50k views on a video. That's because their followers simply haven't stuck around. They've just done sexual content, posted it, got some quick views, probably made some quick money, and now wondering, what the hell should I do with my account? Well, posting the same thing is not what you should be doing. You should now be focusing on building a brand and slowly building back this audience because it's simply washed out this kind of content now in the social media space. Now, a bit of real talk for a second in this video to reframe you guys. I've obviously come into this space 3 and a bit years ago, not knowing anything about the space, not being, a space insider, not having any business background knowledge, but genuinely just learning in this harsh environment. And over learning, I've been able to build this knowledge and see things already change because I've seen changes happen time and time again. So you can see when a shift in the market is starting to happen, and shifts in the market do happen for a reason because people get bored. And that is just the truth. Now, the number one thing that I've seen people that have scaled from 0 to multi-6 figures is simply thinking yourself of less of this OnlyFans star and thinking of yourself as more of a brand. Now, this is the exact shift in change into perspective that you will need to scale your page, or if you're an agency, to scale your creators. Because simply content can be copied, but a brand can't. which makes you unique and makes you have longevity. Now, if you're a creator watching this, I want you to have a serious look, at the amount of content you're creating at the minute, at your social media. Do you feel happy with it? Do you feel happy with your earnings? Do you feel happy with, the social media presence you have? Or are the views converting as well as they should? Have a look at your last 10 reels. Does any of them have any real personality or yourself in it? If not, I urge you to take instant action. Any model who is watching this and is making over $5,000 per month, I will create you a brand specific free social media content plan. On Instagram, just message me the word content plan and I will literally create an exact one for you with my team for free, where we're going to create a brand kind of starter pack for you so that you can get off and start building that. This is for free, no strings attached. Just message me those words. Now, agencies, if you're watching this and you may think this was not really an agency-based video, please watch it from an agency-based video perspective. Because yes, this was targeted more to OF models, but you guys should also be learning. And if you are an agency, I'm going to be posting more about the actual business side of OnlyFans management soon. But for now, hopefully you guys have had an amazing 2026 so far. Let's make some more money in this space. Like, subscribe, and have a look at this beautiful view. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, isn't that luscious? Beautiful. No, that is ridiculous. Peace.